Hello, my name is Danielle Damrell, and today I'm going to be talking to you about organizational leadership. To start, organizational leadership starts with a leader's ability to understand the foundation of organizational behaviors that occur in the workplace. All leaders have a choice. They can either choose to encourage and inspire their followers, as well as give them the tools to be successful in their workplace and in their positions, or they can choose to just stay to themselves and not talk to their followers and allow their followers or their employees to reap the consequences in the meantime. An effective leader, of course, chooses the first option and works hard to develop productive, satisfying, and a growth-driven atmosphere in their organization. To begin understanding organizational behavior, we have to understand the definition of it. So in our text, Scandura states that organizational behavior is just the study of individuals and their behavior at work. According to some research and research encyclopedia of psychology that I found, organizational behavior covers three main levels of analysis. The first level is called micro, and it covers the individuals, the employees, just how individuals relate to each other or talk to each other, interact with each other. Then there's the meso, the group dynamic, and then the macro, which is the whole organization dynamic and how organizational behaviors affect the organization as a whole. So organizational behavior is an all-encompassing look at the dynamics present in the workplace and affect overall function and productivity of all employees, including the leader. Just to give you some more examples, an example of some micro-level behaviors that might occur are just individual employee attitudes, personality differences, employee satisfaction, employee engagement, personal values, and emotional intelligence. Some examples of some meso-level behaviors or some group dynamics that may occur is just group decision-making, team conflict, organizational politics, power, small group climate, group emotional tone, and ethical decision-making, as well as the macro-level behaviors, which are the behaviors that affect the whole organization, as I stated before. And those are the organizational design or the mission and the values that the organizations declare, as well as the physical environment, how the environment's set up, the organizational culture, the things that the organization claims to value as a whole, as all employees, just how employees display themselves as an organization, as well as any change that may occur within the organization at that time. So now I'm going to jump into something just a little bit different that really will give us a better perspective on organizational leadership in real life. So I interviewed 3 local leaders that I know and who I know are excellent leaders and have had lots and lots of followers from all different backgrounds. And prior to interviewing them, I established some clear and simple direct questions to ensure they could speak on what I considered to be the most influential parts of organizational leadership and what somebody who is aspiring to be a leader should know. So the first question I asked is, on a scale of 1 to 5, 1 being not important at all and 5 being absolutely essential, how important do you think it is for an organization to have a humble leader who is influential to all of their followers, and why? Well, I chose some long-winded leaders, let me tell you. But I'm going to summarize their responses to the best of my ability. The first leader, I'll call him Leader A, said 5, absolutely essential. People look to their designated leader of an organization for guidance, and in return, they expect to be positively influenced. There is a trickle-down effect. That person's character can personally impact that organization. The second leader, who we'll call Leader B, said 5 for sure. Humility and influence are such important virtues. I think that influence comes from an employee's ability to trust their higher-ups or their leadership. And then Leader C, who is not quite as long-winded, very Very simple, straight to the point. That's how he leads. He just said 5 because I believe influential leadership sets the tone for the entire organization. So I found this to be really interesting because I'll commonly wonder how much influence a leader really has in an organization. So after I interviewed these people, I sought out some resources to see if I could just kind of back up their opinions, and I did. So I would like to say the proof is in the pudding. I found some research that some very intelligent people did, and they specifically researched the trickle-down effect that Leader A mentioned, and they said that it is very present in the workplace between leaders and their followers. They conducted a research project where they tested 51 behaviors and showed their correlation between management behaviors and the behaviors exhibited by their employees. And they found that all 51 of them had correlations, and 30 out of the 51 showed significant correlations. So this research demonstrates that leaders' impact is greater than they may have suspected. You really do make a difference as a leader, and it is so important to realize that when you're entering into a leadership position. So the second question I asked these 3 leaders is, in your leadership position, do you find that most followers positively respond to a coaching, mentoring type of leadership or a corrective, self-motivating type of leadership? And I was surprised that all 3 leaders answered this question with similar responses. Leader A's response in summary was, my style is personally more coaching, mentoring, because I assume people know how to do their job when they apply for it. And if they need guidance, then they'll ask. It's important to actually know your employees, he says. Even if you have a large staff, it's important to make sure all employees are secure in their work environment. I always ask, what more do you need from me? I like my staff to let me know what they expect from me as a leader. That helps me to help them, and that helps me to help them and them to help me. Self-awareness as a leader is so key. I love that. I love that. I totally agree. Self-awareness is absolutely key as a leader. Leader B's response in summary was, definitely coaching and mentoring is more my style. Coaching and mentoring communicates care. A leader who can do this is choosing to actually walk through the trenches with you and empathize. That is demonstrating a healthy relationship with them. You display your care for them and accept that you can only do what you can do. And then you kind of just have to let it go, which I really appreciated that honest response, because sometimes it's hard. Sometimes your follower won't do what you're recommending for them to do, but you can only do so much as a leader. And if you're doing your part, then you know that you are stewarding your leadership abilities well. Leader C's response was also, I think a coaching, mentoring type of leadership is best because people are looking for direction as to how to best do their job, which is true. So following up on all 3 of their beliefs on the benefits of mentorship versus corrective leadership, I found a website that is a corporate management mentoring website with a bunch of resources. It's really cool. And they just shared a bunch of benefits that are a result of mentorship in the workplace. There's benefits for all areas of the organization, including the managers and the leadership and the employees, and just the overall leadership or overall organizational functionality. And in our text in Scandora, she also states that one of the best things that can happen is when a boss becomes a mentor. Career mentoring from a boss contributes to performance, promotions, and salary increases, and above and beyond high-quality LMX relationships. Research on mentoring in organizations shows that having a mentor can have a powerful impact on your career, and the boss is an important place to begin. So the third question I asked these leaders was, what advice about values and vision in an organization would you like to give to someone entering into a leadership position for the first time? And just for the sake of time, I'm going to summarize these even a little bit shorter than what is on this slide. But leader A just really believes in a shared vision. Vision cannot be just solely on the shoulders of the leader, is what he said. Leader B said, you definitely want your followers to clearly know the mission and vision of your organization. And she demonstrated that mission and vision should be something that is communicated in conversations all the time within employees and leaders in the organization, just so it creates that kind of culture. Because when employees feel like the vision that the company has aligned with is in line with what they believe, then they will work harder, they'll be more productive, and they'll feel more secure. And leader C's response is, having a mission is important, but I think it should be able to evolve and develop as the business and employees change and grow. Hold yourself to the same standards and values as you would to all employees. It is important to know and understand that each role and position in the organization matters. Make yourself, as a leader, available to be seen. A leader needs to be known and not removed from the rest of their work environment. So his point really was, don't hide from your followers. Know their position. If you're going to be a leader, you're going to claim to be a leader, you need to know what they're doing, and you need to value it, and you need to help them if they need to. In conclusion, I would just like to leave you with this. Leadership is not simple, but it is so important. Leadership is a choice. Effective leaders offer positive and encouraging influence. Leadership is a blessing and a gift, and we as Christian leaders need to steward that well. Leaders lay the foundation of trust in the workplace. And most of all, I want you to remember that leadership begins from within. It's not possible to recognize organizational behaviors, positively influence, offer healthy mentorship, or develop a strong mission for an organization if my internal being is not in line with the biblical truths and positive outlooks that a strong leader must possess. God is the only perfect leader. So seeking Him in challenging times is the key to knowing that you are stewarding your leadership well. He will never fail you. Never. Thank you.